we're going to show you how to do the 3-needle bind off, which has that name because you use 3 needles. You've used the 3-needle bind off to join 2 pieces of knitting that each have the same number of stitches. So this piece of stockinette stitch here has 20 stitches, and this piece also has 20 stitches. You might use this for the shoulder on a sweater, or to join 2 halves of a scarf, or for any other time that you have 2 pieces of knitting with live stitches, then you have the same count on each needle. So what we're going to do is turn these pieces around so that the right sides of the knitting are together. So on the stockinette stitch, we're going to have the V's on the inside, and then on the outside on both pieces, we're going to have the purl bumps. We're going to hold both pieces together like this in our left hand as if it's one piece of knitting. And we're going to knit regularly. And I carry the yarn in my left hand and tension it in this funky way, but you can make the stitches in any way that's normal for you. What we're going to do is we're going to knit 2 together. But instead of taking the 2 stitches on the same needle, we're going to knit 1 stitch from the front needle and 1 stitch from the back needle together. So I'll go into both of those stitches and then get my working yarn and pull it through, and I've knit 2 stitches together, 1 from each piece. And I'm going to do that again. For binding off, every time we do the bind off part, we have to have 2 stitches on the right hand needle. What we're going to do is we're going to take the point of one of these needles and grab the second stitch, the one furthest away from the tip of the right needle, and pass it over and drop it off. So now we're down to 1 stitch on the right needle. And if you ever do this kind of bind off where you're passing the stitch over, you'll notice that this is exactly the same thing. The only difference is that as we go across, we knit 2 together each time. And then we pass 1 over every time we have 2 stitches on the right hand needle. So we'll knit 2 together again, and then pass 1 over. And we just do that and go all the way across the knitting. Here I finished going across the whole row, and you can see a little ridge where I've joined the 2 pieces together. When I flip it over to the right side, you can see that it's not an invisible seam, but it's completely straight and tidy, and it looks neat every single time.